So we are skipping from some of the intro questions because we have done a part 1 for this video.
This is the Toyota Hilux. It's the pickup truck and it's a real beast of a car. This Hilux, we got it about a year ago. It was one of the first few Hiluxes that were launched in Bangalore. But yeah, I think now the waiting period is quite long. I think it's really picked up in terms of everybody wants the Hilux. So if I'm not mistaken, there is a couple of months of a waiting period.
So can you share some experience of the long drive you got?
On the Hilux, it is any highway driving dream car because it is so well planted on the car. It's got the right amount of power, the right amount of torque. You never really have to worry about overtaking or just safety because it's a Toyota car. It's great for anybody trying to do long distance and you need extra luggage space. It has the bed at the back which can really take on any kind of thing that you want to put into it. This is our default long drive highway driving car.
Okay, so thinking about the comfort, you're okay with or not okay?
It is. The Hilux is an extremely comfortable car. Of course, you need to do a couple of tweaks, just change the suspension to make it a lot more comfortable for in-city driving. The stock suspension, especially on the rear, is slightly on the harder side, so you do tend to get thrown up from the back. The bed does tend to lift up quite a bit. So if you change your suspension to a more comfort setting and then eyes closed, you pretty much don't have to do anything else on the car.
Okay. Can talk about the inside modifications you have done?
Sure. On the inside, what we've done is it's running the throttle controller, the EVC-X throttle controller. So what that really does is that it overrides the signal between the responsiveness of the throttle, giving it a much faster response time, right? So when you do want to overtake when you're driving on the highway, and if you want a quicker response time and to avoid the lag, the throttle controller is pretty much first step for anybody that just wants a little bit extra power. It's not a remap, it's just a throttle controller that overrides your throttle signal.
Can you tell about the city mileage and the practicality of the car in the city?
See, in the city, the Hilux is it is a big car, right? Both in terms of height as well as in terms of length. So if you're trying to take it around the city and park it into a lot of places, it's not the easiest to find parking. But soon as you take it out of city limits, it's a breeze. You never have to worry about anything. In city, it really depends on where you want to go. Sometimes if you follow Google Maps in the city, you might end up going on really small roads, and that's when it's not the most practical car. But otherwise, it's a great car. It sits really well on the road. It gives you clear visibility. It's a very easy car. Even though it's really big, you don't really feel it. So it's a wonderful car for anybody to really drive.
Have you taken the car for any off-road purpose?
Yeah, we have. On the weekends, whenever we do get time, we do take it off for a couple of off-roading trails. And that's when you can really see that the Hilux really, no matter what kind of path you put it on, it's just an extremely capable car. So even if you don't have a lot of experience off-roading, there's a lot that the car just does it for you. So that way, yeah, it's a fantastic off-roading car.
Nice. From the front itself, what are the current specs?
So what we've done is we've done a dechroming. We're not a fan of all the chrome and all the silver, so we've completely blackened out all the chrome on the grille, on the mirror caps, and all the badging. One of the most essential things to do is to swap out the tires. So we upgraded the tires. So right now it's running Cooper tires, 285s. It's also running the Evo Corsa Dakar spec alloys. Otherwise, more or less, it's pretty much stock. The dechrome just makes a massive difference. We're running auxiliary lights just for better throw. So we've got a combination of spot and spread Baja design lights. But one of the most important things that I think any Hilux owner will tell you is that the suspension is really hard, especially if you're sitting on, as passengers, if you're sitting at the back, you do tend to get thrown up, and it does tend to lift off. So a suspension upgrade, moving it to a more comfortable suspension upgrade is a really good option. This car is running the Tough Dog suspension, foam cell suspension. It also gives you a 2-inch lift, so it just gives the car a better stance and a much better road presence as well. It's running the Ironman rock sliders, really important, especially if you want to take it, off-roading. This really protects the car from getting hit underneath from any damage. It's running the Ironman rear bumper with a rated tow hook. The tow hook's rated at 3,000 tons of towing capacity. Extremely important when you have a car this big, this heavy. It comes in really handy when it's a recovery vehicle, when you're driving with a lot of other people, you get stuck in slushes. It's really important to have a tow capacity bumper and a tow hook to pull yourself out or to help other cars rescue them. It's running an automatic bed cover because there's so much space in here. It's such a perfect car for, when you're traveling, you never have to worry about luggage space. One of the first things anybody that buys the Hilux does is to sort of cover the bed. So we're running an automatic roller shutter, so that helps us put all our luggage inside, and at the same time it sort of prevents water, dust, anything from getting in when we travel. Since these are not load weighted, you want to also utilize the top space, so we're running the Alpha Rise in crossbars. This gives us the flexibility, to put a rooftop tent. We can put extra storage. You can mount your bike, cycles on it. There's like so many things that you can do because the car just gives you that capacity to just load up a lot of things. The Hilux is also a really great overlanding car. If you've got a lot of long drives between cities, if you want to take it up not to Spiti Valley, it just gives you a lot more provision and stability to, take it overlanding. You can do a rooftop tent. There are a lot of cars where you can run a fridge, a kitchenette. You can go camping in the car. It's a very stable car. Like I was saying, the Hilux stock suspension is pretty hard, especially on the rear. We're running the Tough Dog suspension. We're running the comfort setting, but it also gives you the provision to, if your car is going to have a canopy on it, or if it's going to have your camping gear, rooftop tent. Tough Dog gives you the option of load rated springs as well. So based on the capacity of whatever you're building on top of the car, you need to balance it out with the right suspension to be able to take on that kind of weight. So the suspension upgrades really give you an option of running weighted springs versus comfort setting.
After getting a stock vehicle, what was the first mode you have done?
The first thing we did is tires, wheels and suspension. I mean, the first thing is tires and suspension because otherwise you really get thrown up at the back. So suspensions, I think almost every Hilux owner, the first thing they do is change the tires and do a suspension upgrade because you want to make a car like this a lot more comfortable.
Ma'am, what mileage you are getting on Hilux?
The Hilux, it gives us about 8 in the city and then 10 on the highway if we're lucky. Yeah.
Okay. Can you just elaborate the build cost of the car?
Sure. The Tough Dog suspension, the foam cell suspension is costed us about 2,20,000. The bumper is about 1,50,000. The automatic roller lid about 1,20,000, 1,30,000. The crossbars, the weighted crossbars for a set of this was about 45,000. So, and then you've got your wheels and tires. So overall, maybe anywhere between 4 to 6 lakhs.
Yeah. Okay.
And then of course there's a custom wrap that we've done on the car. So
okay, yeah. Nice. What is the future of the car? Is there any future upgrades coming on?
Yeah, we plan on adding a lot more things that make it more overlanding friendly. So we're probably going to either add a rooftop tent, which we'll either do on the roof or on the bed at the back.
Okay.
Because we want to take it out camping and overlanding. So a tent is going to be one of it. We'd probably add a winch for recovery as well.
So ma'am, thank you. Thanks a lot for
Thank
explaining
you.
each and everything. And guys, I will give the link and details in the description. Go check it out guys. They got a huge page, and for any updates you can contact them directly. So ma'am, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.